start our show for today. Thank you, everyone, okay, that have grabbed your time. Maybe we're going to probably spend a very fruitful 45 minutes here, 45 minutes to 1 hour, 15 minutes probably for Q&A. Okay, we have two very good sharer today. One of them are Mr. Alex, okay. So Mr. Alex, we have Mr. Alex and also Jennifer, our senior sales and marketing manager from Coral Bay, the beautiful lady down there. So without further ado, okay, let us start our show. Okay, a little bit introduction about Alex. Okay, Alex is an ex-investment banker. Okay, he worked globally he's with Chess and Manhattan and Canadian Imperial Bank before. And in local, he has served RHB Bank and also working with SB Setia. Alex has very vast experience in border, meaning that internationally, in US, Singapore, Hong Kong, Philippines, and Vietnam. Presently, he is also an investor himself. He also invests in resort and also other property development. So without further ado, okay, let us start with Mr. Alex Oro. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I hope you had a lovely dinner, and it's lovely and nice and breezy here out in KK. And I will be giving you a slides. I'm having an issue trying to move the slides. Give me a little bit of time. I got to get my slides up. Right. I have been tasked this evening to have a quick overview of the economy and, of course, a short coverage of the real estate sector here in Sabah. And truth be told, I'm a little bit nervous because I'm doing this as a background in relation to Coral Bay, which clearly is one of the best, if not the best, condominium development project here in Sabah. And it's got so much of unique strengths, being waterfront and within very exciting amenity-filled resorts. Okay, I will hence start by talking about the economy, because being a prized asset, you would want to know, whether you're going to be having this prized asset in a nice, good, solid space, or would it be in Timbuktu, where somebody creates something beautiful, but the local economy is not there. The real estate sector is weak. So I'll share with you, and you make that call. You make that call whether the economy here is really that robust. Now, for those who have just joined us, and I understand from the organizers that we even have participants from the States, and so I would just quickly, for the benefit of those who don't know where Sabah is, we are in East Malaysia, second largest state. But the key thing I want to point out for this, and throughout the evening, I will continuously try to point out facts that would be important in respect of for you to assess the town and the state, the city and the state. Now, in this particular aspect, I would like to share with you that Sabah is part of the maritime route, and that maritime, 1/3 of the global shipping actually passes through the South China Sea. And so what does that mean? That means that Sabah is geopolitically very important, and hence America is very keen here, and China is very keen here. So when you have some place that's geopolitically very important, people pay attention, and typically there should be some growth from there. Now, how are we as a state? What are numbers looking like? Sabah is a 85 billion ringgit economy. In dollar terms, about 19 billion. Not very large. I still recall when I was posted to Vietnam 15 years ago, we were a $60 billion economy, and it's huge now. So the exciting part about this particular statistics, ladies and gentlemen, would be definitely that you're starting from a low base, and more importantly, at $85 billion size economy, we are just about 5% of national GDP. You figure that out. Second largest state, only 5% of national GDP. And actually, the growth trend is already happening. If you look at 2017, Sabah grew 8%. So in the last couple of years, Sabah actually has been growing faster than from the national growth rate. Now, what I've done for you guys to have a grasp of the economy is I looked through the numbers, and I felt that the 4 basic pillars in Sabah's economy, and they are namely oil and gas, tourism, oil palm, and federal spending and infrastructure. So this is very peculiar. I'll share with you why I feel that this is an important pillar. Right, oil and gas. The first pillar, I think many of you know about the excitement of oil and gas in the last couple of weeks, how it crashed. And for the record, the last 6 weeks, oil prices have been on the rise. It's about 40 in excess of $40 closing last Friday, right? And we in Sabah have 25% of the national oil reserves. So this is a very strong pillar, because 25% of the national oil reserves is worth about 200 billion ringgit. Because I use about, I have to qualify here that I use $55 a barrel to come up with a 200 billion. Sabah also controls 12% of the national gas reserves. And using 2018 prices, that's worth about 161 billion. So you look at these numbers, they're not small, and not small particularly against a backdrop of an 85 billion ringgit economy. I also need to point out that Sabah also has gone downstream, and anytime when you hear oil and gas and they have gone downstream, that's very good news, because that will lead to growth, that will be leading to jobs. And we are not just talking about it. There is already an existing urea plant in Sipitang. It's a multi-billion ringgit plant with Petronas behind it. We also have another urea plant that's being in the pipeline. This time it's going to be a Polish-Russian investment. Second pillar, something you're familiar with, oil palm. So the soil here in Sabah is particularly fertile, and that's why Sabah is known to have the highest yield of fresh fruit bunch in Malaysia. And how do we look in terms of numbers for oil palm? Sabah controls 25% of the national production. So using $400 per ton, which is on the low side, of course now everything is weak. That's worth about 10 billion ringgit every year. Okay, 10 billion ringgit every year. Now, don't you think that's really quite solid? 10 billion in an $85 billion economy. Okay, I did promise to share with you that why should federal spending be a pillar? Well, because Sabah, as I've earlier pointed out, only contributes to 5% of the national GDP. So there is a lot of pressure for Sabah to be where Kuala Lumpur puts money in. And if you remember how KL put money into, say, Nusajaya, and then during Badawi's time, we had all the corridors being created, and money has continuously gone into West Malaysia. And 20, 30 years ago, to put money here, possibly you put $1, you may not get your return, you know. Like KL puts $1 into Nusajaya, for instance. Evidently, the Singaporeans, the foreign investors will come because of the proximity of Johor to Singapore, much like the Hong Kong, Shenzhen, New York, Jersey arrangement. So that time is right now for federal to put money here, because we have been building the infrastructure. The tourists are coming, the oil and gas business is building, the palm oil business is building. So it is timely. And the good news also is that currently we have a major development called the Pan-Borneo Highway. Many of you probably would have heard about it. It's a 2,300 kilometer highway, and total cost 29 billion. It runs from Teluk Melanau in Sarawak all the way to Tawau in the eastern seaboard of Sabah, and our portion is worth 13 billion. So this kind of money floating into the state will only spell growth and jobs. So I think this is an interesting pillar, definitely. Now, the last and final pillar, tourism. There will be more attention to this pillar of growth because we feel that it's a very important pillar given the nature of how much job it creates, given the track record that we already have. And as I go down into the later slides, you will see why it makes so much sense to consider tourism as a very robust pillar. And I also want to point out at this stage that it has a strong correlation with Coral Bay in the sense that Coral Bay is a tourism-related, tourism-centered integrated resort. And it will grow in parallel with the state's growth of tourism. Now, how do we fare in tourism? 2019, 4 million arrivals, so commendable. And the state collected about 8 billion ringgit in 2018. Sorry, I don't have the 2019 numbers, so I've just quoting. And I think in 2019, we probably did about 9 billion, but which means that important to the state, 9.8% of the GDP. Now, why is Sabah such a major tourist draw? I think God has blessed this beautiful state. At this stage, I must say that I have a confession. I'm not a Sabahan, but I am an outdoor kind of a guy. I just love Sabah because after coming here for a few years, it's a tremendously livable city. And I remember when I first came, you know, I could just go to an island by taking 15 minutes to downtown to get a water taxi. Water taxi takes me 10 minutes to the islands. 10 minutes, and I got 4 islands to choose from. So it's just a great place for lifestyle, and that translates to great growth potential. God will bless you and give you the most beautiful islands, pristine oceans, and all that. But if you're like in the middle of nowhere, you know, nobody's gonna come. But we are blessed. Again, we are even blessed in terms of location. You look, in terms of flight time, this is the 4-hour diameter. And within 4 hours, we have Taipei, Fuzhou, Wuhan, Shenzhen, Guangzhou, Xianggang. So, and this is music to the ears of many people because these are major Chinese cities. And China is just an incredible demand source for traveling. And right now, the number of people who have passports in China is just a fraction of the 1.3 billion, I believe, in China. So given such proximity, Sabah would certainly enjoy it. And because it's blessed with island type, sea type activities, the Chinese love it. You know, they would not be as excited in terms of mountains because they have lovely mountains there. So because of the flight times, great connectivity here. Okay. Now, still staying at tourism, and you know, we keep telling you that we feel that Sabah is a growing economy, and this sector, the tourism sector, is also reflective of that. In 2002, they had a 1.1 million arrival of tourists. By the way, all the way we climb to 2019 is 4.19 million arrivals. So this is a sector that is growing, and we feel that they are doing things right, and that they have all these attractions. The Sabah Tourism Board built up the numbers. Now, how are the numbers in a little bit of a breakdown? Actually, Sabah has 1.3 million international arrivals out of the 4.1 million that I shared with you earlier. How does 1.3 million look? Well, in 2019, Bali had 6.3 million arrivals. Phuket had 9.9 million. So we are really, really a distant behind both Bali and Phuket. So why I want to share this slide, except Phuket in excess of 10 times, and I feel that we can give Bali and Phuket a run for the money. And if we get our act together, the offerings of the islands, mountains, the lovely biodiverse, highly biodiverse rainforest will be a major draw. And for us to climb from 1.3 million closer to the 6.3 and 9.9, it's definitely possible. And for those of you who are quite well traveled, you also realize that the beaches in Bali and Phuket has got an high E. coli count. And the pristine status of those waters and cleanliness of the waters are now in question. I can share with you for a fact that the only E. coli fear in Sabah would be in the KK waters, and that too rarely that we get the E. coli count, the bad bacteria count. Rarely do we get that experience. Okay, of course, north and south of KK, the waters are just lovely. Now I've spoken quite a bit, so now I think I'll just run through some images on whether you think that really Sabah is that good an attraction. For a start, we have world-class resorts. What you're seeing on your screen here is the Sutera Harbour Resort, and this is actually, interestingly enough, where Coral Bay is. And ladies and gentlemen, give me a guess. Most of you, when you see this kind of sprawling resort, you say, I reached this airport, I got to travel another 1-2 hours, and then only can, because how to get such big land? This is sitting on 380 acres of prime waterfront land. Okay, for the record, Sutera Harbour Resort is 10 minutes from downtown, 12 to 15 minutes from Kota Kinabalu International Airport. I repeat, 10 minutes downtown, 12 to 15 minutes from Kota Kinabalu International Airport. Isn't it such a great location? So we have that, and I think later in the evening, Jennifer will share with you more details of this super exciting, lovely built, very well built resort. Most of the big brands are here. Shang is here. Shang is not just here with a single resort. They actually have two. They have the Rasa Ria, which is 45 minutes from KK, and the Tanjung Aru, which is just 15 minutes. They were the early guys here, so you can see that they were able to just entirely control this bay, create this little mini island. So it's just like a paradise, when you come to both any of the Shanks and plus Sutera Harbour, because they have sprawling grounds and very matured landscape. Okay, a little bit of technicalities, and we just have to get the technicalities going. So what are the, actually breaking down into products, what are the key products? Kota Kinabalu, of course, it's UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's a big draw. Nature and wildlife. Nature and wildlife here is just phenomenal. You've got the British royal family, regular visitors here. Current Prime Minister Morrison from Australia has come here because of nature and wildlife. They principally go to the Danum and Danum Valley because it's a multiple thousands of years old rainforest, incredibly biodiverse. For the more excited, more younger set, we have adventure, we have water rafting in Kulu. And all my buddies who've done that, they just love it. And we also have 2 levels of water leveling, the more serious ones and the real, just play around with the water kind of bit. Ethnic cultural experience is a big draw here. You have so many, I think in excess of 30 ethnic groups here, and they're also colorful. You have the Kadazans, the Rungus, and the Dusuns. And this one is a big draw, diving and snorkeling and islands and beaches. These two tourism products is super important because it attracts the Chinese, and the Chinese are, we see already about 600,000-700,000. We see it growing to 1 million before this pandemic, of course, and I think it will run into the millions in years to come because they love the sea. And golfing, it's not very big, but it used to be really very big because the Koreans come here to golf during the winter months in Korea, and they have academy that has long-term arrangements with the golf courses here. And for the record, Coral Bay has 27-hole golf course, both day and night. And we actually have the latest product, which is mice, and we are very excited about mice here. I will talk to you about it later. Okay, then I keep on with the images. This was the island that I told you earlier when I first came, and it was just 10 minutes by water taxi, 15 minutes, you know. Now, then of course, to be fair, the more beautiful islands are actually further up on the eastern seaboard, which is in Sempona. Sempona is a very interesting gateway. Off Sempona, you get Sipadan, and Sipadan is one of the top 10 dive sites in the world, and that's just phenomenally beautiful. Just look at how the waters are. Look at this one. This is Sibuan, more like an atoll. Just pay attention to how crystal clear the waters are, how lovely the sands are. I've been here like 3 times, and I never fail to enjoy the beauty each time. This is Meren Yitao, Mantanani. It's just about an hour away from KK, and the Chinese call it Mermaid Island. Is a must go for them. This is Bohi Dulang, again off Semprona, and this attraction is coupled with some adventure. When you go on this particular route, you do a little bit of trekking up to about 1,000 odd feet, and this is what is your reward. You get beautiful islands. Yeah, I said UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's just beautiful. I've done that climb, and it's actually quite climate friendly, and it's also got the Via Ferrata, so it's all the excitement. Now, I did say that the 8th tourism product, which is the mice, I will spend a bit of time on this because it's in my mind, it's a game changer. We have just completed a Sabah International Convention Center that sits on 6 hectares of land. You know, it sits on 6 hectares of land. It's got a 5,000 capacity. Not super big, but I think that's very credible. Exhibition space, also 5,000 square meters. So why do I think it's a game changer? I think that the excitement of it, if they get their act together, is that the people would want to come. Because post-conference, as you can tell from my earlier slides, is there's so much for them to do, you know, and it's 4 hours only from flight time from major cities, and there's just so much for them to do. And for all these conference attendees, whether it be the Civil Engineer Society of ASEAN or all the conferences in Bangkok, Bali, KL, they've been there, done that, and now it's a fresh one, and we're not talking about it. We've created this center, so we think it's a game changer. Imagine even if we have 3,000 capacity, given the situation in the rooms here, we definitely will not have enough 5-star hotel rooms. So tremendous excitement, because not just because we've built it, but because we feel that post-conference there's so much to do, and it will be a winner. Okay, then I'll quickly now say that go on to the part where, okay, Alex, all these things that you share. Now with the pandemic, are these going to be still possible? Are they going to be sustainable? Will it bounce back? We think so. We think it's sustainable. We think it's bounce back. Because you look at the pillar of oil palm and oil and gas. But palm oil and oil and gas are both basic type activities. The Indians consume huge amounts of palm oil as much as the Chinese. And then oil and gas, you know, electric car, yes, but the numbers are going to be small. People still need to grow. And we are in Asia Pacific, there will still be a big need for it. Infrastructure, you can tell the infrastructure. I foresee Sabah being still an area where they'll put money here. Because, like I said earlier, there is reason to put money, because we're ready. When the money from federal comes in, it will translate to foreign investment and more investors coming in. And you know, also, you know what's going on in KL and all that. Sabah is also politically a kingmaker. So because of that, you know, a lot of bargaining is going on, and I think Sabah will definitely get more money. And for tourism, you know, it's very clear. You can see that that pillar will still be robust, and because it is got new segments. Sabah Tourism Board is trying Russia and Middle East. and then we can play with all kinds of new segments coming into it. Now, because I'm addressing all of you important people out there, you know, your properties are very expensive. I had to crack my head on some even bigger reason for you to come. And I'm sharing you tonight a bonus pillar. And mind you, this bonus pillar is not talking in the air, because it pertains to Jokowi, President of Indonesia's announcement that they're going to move Indonesia's capital from Jakarta to, guess where? Just here. You can see it's in the island of Borneo, where Sabah is. And Sabah will be a major beneficiary for this relocation. So it's going to be a phenomenal thing. I'm running out of time, and because it's not just, it's also part of the, this area is part of the East ASEAN growth area too. Now, the real estate sector, I will quickly go through. Now, KK, the demand dynamics is going to be very clear. A lot of Sabahans from other parts of Sabah will come here. West Malaysians are finding it that it's the real Malaysian spirit. They find a lot of growth. So guys like me are also coming here. Foreigners on the MM2H program are also here: China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and also UK. Now, what is interesting also about the supply-demand dynamics of real estate in Sabah, in KK, is that, believe it or not, there is a limitation of development land available here in Sabah. Why? Because Sabah, you look at this, it's a very narrow city. On the one side, you have the South China Sea, and interestingly enough, on the landward side is Signal Hill. And because of this, it leads, and on the top of that, the KK International Airport is so near, so we have height restrictions. So when you put all that together, we become like Sydney, you know. We have Pacific Ocean, Blue Mountain. So supply actually is limited. And in that respect, it's going to be very, very challenging. So okay, with that, I'm running a little bit of time. I pass the floor back to Philomena. Philomena, I'm sorry I took a bit more time than expected.
Thank you, Alex, for your very in-depth sharing of your economic of Sabah, and also a little bit of a glimpse of Sabah, about KK, how that's very linear and all like that. So any questions so far? If there's no question, let me look at the chat box. So far, there's no question, but I think they're enjoying your sharing, Alex. So without further ado, let me invite Jennifer. Jennifer Chow is the Senior Sales and Marketing Manager for Invest Asia, which is also for Coral Bay, to show you more and then more exciting about Coral Bay. Okay, Jennifer, your turn. Thank you.
Okay. Hi. Thanks, Philo, and thank you so much, Alex, for the sharing on the macro aspects of Sabah in particular. And right now, I will be sharing the micro aspects, more about Coral Bay itself, and what's so interesting about KK and Coral Bay. And of course, before that, I would like to thank PropNex, Philo, for organizing this luxury property talk, giving us a platform to talk about luxury property in Kota Kinabalu. So I shall to tell you my contents, what I will be covering today, this evening. First of all, I will tell you a little bit more about our company, the GSH Group. Basically, my presentation will be in two parts. I'll talk about a bit more the micro side of Kota Kinabalu. And we pick up top 6 reasons to invest in luxury real estate in Kota Kinabalu. And on to an overview of Coral Bay at Sutera. And then the top 6 reasons to invest in Coral Bay at Sutera. Incidentally, today is the 6th of June, so probably we take 6 and 6. Good luck for everybody, right? Yeah, luck to talk about this. Okay. Now, a little bit about Coral Bay. The project name is Coral Bay at Sutera. The fact that we are located in Sutera Harbour Resort. Our developer is Rembrandt, which is actually a own subsidiary of GSH Corporation Limited. GSH Corporation Limited, a listed company on the main board of Singapore Exchange, was by our executive chairman, Dato' Sam Goi. Started his property development company in Yangzhou, China, back in the 80s. Today, we are a growing property developer in Asia, with 5 properties under development in Malaysia, KL and KK in particular, and China in Henan. The group also owns and operates the 384 acres Sutra Harbour Resort in Kota Kinabalu and the Sutra at Mantanani Resort on the Mantanani Islands in Sabah. To date, we have completed over 7,000 units, property units in China. Also built our own head office, GSH Plaza in Singapore. And right now, projects under construction and also in development is Eaton Residences in KLCC. There's 630 over units. And our flagship project in Kota Kinabalu is Coral Bay and Sutra. Now, from overseas, you might be wondering where exactly is Coral Bay in Sabah. So just to share with you this map, again, we have the West Malaysia and East Malaysia, and Coral Bay is actually located within KL. And of course, Sabah is the second largest state in the country with a population of 3.9 million. The capital city itself has over 550,000 people. So it's quite interesting to see, and also Sabah is also known as the land below the wind because of its geographic location between South China Sea and also the Sulu Sea. So in terms of the environment, the air, and the ocean and all the natural resources that is all circling Sabah. So actually there's a lot of potential in many areas. They're very confident about the future growth of this city. Another interesting thing to talk about is also Kota Kinabalu International Airport. This airport is the second busiest airport after our Kuala Lumpur International Airport. And it is only about 11 minutes away from Sutra Harbour Resort. And within the city, it's about 15 minutes traveling time. Very few places in the world or even in Malaysia, the airport is so near to the city. Again, in terms of direct flights, in terms of its location, you can find that there are many direct international flights coming into Sabah because of its location. Yeah. And in the busy time, we have over 200 weekly flights. And most of the traveling are within 2 to 4 hours range, except for Perth, maybe 6 hours. The rest is very easily to travel from China, from Korea, from Japan, Singapore, Indonesia, Brunei, of course, yeah, Philippines, and Taiwan. And between East Malaysia and West Malaysia, there is also plenty of flights weekly. A lot of transportation ease and a lot of business potential for the country and for the states. Again, Sabah is also well known because of that, it's well known as a top diving destination in the world. Just now, Alex have shown you many beautiful islands, pictures of the islands. And this is where people come. We have a lot of rich resources, both ocean and land, especially seafood, bird nests, and local produce, tourist spots. You know. The top 2 most attractive attraction is, of course, Mount Kinabalu, the highest mountain in Malaysia and Southeast Asia. It's one of the key attractions for foreign and tourists, domestic tourists, and the ocean, the sea activities. And of course, in KK, you have the most impressive sunset in the city. And it's amazing. I'll show you some sunset. This is Mount KK. Just take a look at it. Tourists and many visitors coming over to Sabah. This is a view of the sunset in Tanjung Aru. Tanjung Aru public beach. Yeah, most of the foreigners, visitors, as well as local people will come to enjoy this sunset. To Tanjung Aru beach is actually Coral Bay. So here's another interesting view of the sunset from our project site in Sutra Harbour Resort from Coral Bay. So in terms of location, you can actually see, just as what Alex has seen, KK is a very short street. So between the airport and the city, it's a short drive away. And this is Sutera Harbour Resort. So within Sutera Harbour Resort, you can actually see Coral Bay. Yeah, we are here. So we are very close to the city, and yet it is a very private enclave and easily accessible to both the airports as well as the city center. You will also notice the Gleneagles Hospital and Imago Shopping Mall. This is the start of the city, and it's just 5 minutes away. So this very prime address, yeah, and Sutera Harbour is also the most prestigious address in KK, having a brand that was built over 20 years. This year is our 20th anniversary. So it's really a wonderful place where many people will come for functions, for events, for dining, and for the accommodation. Now, looking at the city itself, KK City, this is a view taken from Signal Hill. So just now, Alex showing you a map showing Signal Hill, between Signal Hill and South China Sea. And this itself is KK City. It's very low density. And traveling time, it's only about 8 kilometers from the airport to Surya Mall is the last mall along the city, the city line, the main road itself. So this is one of the most easy to travel and hassle-free city in Malaysia, I believe. And of course, there are many local banks, foreign banks, education institutions, commercial centers, tourist center, and seafood haven. This is just a quick run through some pictures. This is the Imago Shopping Center. This is one of the most popular shopping center, one of the largest in KK. And along the stretch, you find all in about 10 shopping complexes, eateries, commercial places, business centers along KK City. And of course, that's the Surya Mall, which is also one of the largest malls. So from end to end, you get about 10 malls. There's plenty to do in this. And it's just 10 minutes away from Sutera Harbour, or even from the airports, it's 15-20 minutes away. And within the city, you will also find 11 consulates and 5 consulate general representing the various countries to service the visitors coming to Sabah. And there are also 3 private medical centers, the Gleneagles, KPGA Specialist, and also Jesserton Medical Center. And we also have 2 local hospitals, which is the Queen Elizabeth 1 and 2. So within the city itself, in KK City, and 2 international schools, the Kinabalu International School and the Jesserton International School. And in terms of hotel, there are plenty of hotels, and but there is lacking of 5-star hotel. 2 of the more prominent ones, the City Hotel, is Hilton Hotel, and also the Marriott Hotel. Yeah. These are Sutera Harbour, and of course Shangri-La Tanjung Aru, a resort hotel, and Sutera Harbour Resort. But we are not a standalone city hotel or a resort hotel per se, but we are actually an integrated resort development. So with 184 acres of Sutera Harbour, we have the Pacific Sutera Hotel, another 5-star hotel, and also the Magellan Sutera Resort, and the Sutera Harbour Marina, which actually houses 104 berth space here for private yachts to be parked, and the Sports and Recreational Club, as well as the Sutera Harbour Golf and Country Club. This is a 27-hole championship golf course that is open day and night. And lastly, maiden development, which is Coral Bay at Sutera. So this whole development itself is the Sutera Harbour Resort development. We are probably the one and only integrated development in Sabah. And across the South China Sea, as well as the Gazetted Tunku Abdul Rahman Marine Parks. View some views shortly. So just to sum up in KK, what are the top 6 reasons to invest in Kota Kinabalu? I think what we want to say is that KK is really a very livable place due to its geographic advantages, rich natural resources, both land and the ocean, a very harmonious multi-ethnic and diverse culture, and also good governance. Yeah. Again, the land below the wind, which is environment the balance, the harmonizing of the environment, the ocean, the sea, the mountain, the city. Yeah, and it's also a good gateway for regional trade, especially for Southeast Asia and North Asia. And also coupled with all the direct international flights as well as local flights. So it's actually bringing a lot of vibrancy and activity into the city. And of course, there are more potential coming in with the highway, with the new Pan-Borneo Highway, and later on in Kalimantan, the relocation of the capital city. That will basically connect the entire East Malaysia. And for now, it has already got very mature highway infrastructure. It's easily accessible between the airport and the city and around the city, yeah, amid the very low density city skyline. Quite effective urban town planning where there are very good zoning between residential industrial areas. And today, based on today's lifestyle, there is also an increasing demand for high quality luxury properties by the high net worth individuals. However, in KK, there's only a handful supply of really top-notch luxury properties in the city, prime location. And also, it's also due to scarcities of land for high-end development, in particular seafront land in. And along with this, we are talking about really a long-term wealth creation opportunity for investing in such property. It's a trophy asset. It's also a long-term capital appreciation, yeah, and rental yield for well-preserved luxury properties. That's basically sum up what we feel would be the top 6 reasons to invest in Kinabalu. And now I bring you to Sutera Harbour and Coral Bay. Quickly, just take you through Sutera Harbour Golf and Country Club images, yeah. And this is where Coral Bay is next to the Magellan. So the development will have the view. That's what we mean by the 360-degree view of the islands, the marina, the golf course, and the mountains. That's the recreational club at the marina. Plenty of facilities for family, for all generations. The F&B facilities, hotels, and our clubs. Yeah. So if you look at the location again, it's always location, location, location. So where is Coral Bay? Coral Bay is right smack in Sutera Harbour Resort, and this is a prestigious address, a prestigious location, and it's so convenient. It's located in between KKIA and KK City, you know. So it's and again, you have your own private residence, private enclave, and also be able to enjoy the view across South China Sea and surrounded by mountains. So this is a 360-degree view, yeah, of Coral Bay. Like I say, in front, you will actually get the view of the 5 islands, yeah. At the back, the golf course, and also the mountain range and our city, and the marina. This side is where Tanjung Aru is, so we also enjoy the sunset view. Really, we would like to tell you that Coral Bay is the creme de la creme in Sabah. You know, it's a very unique project, and luxury properties are actually a niche in KK. And Coral Bay is a very prestigious condo located in one of the, you know, rare piece of seafront land in the city. So larger properties can be trophy assets, and most of our buyers actually invest in this as a vacation home, as a retiree home, or even a second home. People come from all walks, from Malaysia, definitely, and also we have customers from China, Korea, Japan, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and the rest. Now, talk about the design. In terms of building design, architectural design, we have Plum & McFarlane, one of the oldest architecture firm in Singapore since the 1887. Yeah? And they have done a number of projects, especially in Southeast Asia. Yeah, very established. And so we've got them in to help us to design Coral Bay. And Coral Bay, the name comes from inspiration by the Sabah's coral reefs. You can see the building facade, the architecture. It's kind of like the shapes of the corals. Yeah. So that's the first inspiration, yeah, from the building design. And also the footprint itself, it also resembles a pair of dragons. It's like two dragons, yeah, looking over the sea. And we also have water elements on front, as well as surrounded by the mountain and the golf course. So it's really embracing the sea, the land, and the mountain, you know. So it's from the Chinese feng shui perspective. This project is also award-winning, and we've got from Sharida, Sabah Best Residential Property last year. So we can actually see the coral reefs design, right? Inspired by the coral reefs. And again, the dragons, and it's very airy and breezy, yeah. So it's really to be. Again, another unique thing to talk about is also our building is designed with a seismic design that is earthquake resistant. Back in 2015, the Rana earthquake, government has imposed a requirement for all buildings to be earthquake resistant, and we are one of the first developers to have done that. Of course, it costs a lot more to put in such a design, yeah. And our building is actually designed to perform up to 6 magnitude epicenter, or about 80 to 100 kilometers away from the site location. From here to KK, Mount KK, we're about 90 km. Yeah. So Coral Bay is 12 acres within the 384 acres, built over 8 blocks, with 4 blocks on each side. And each building is 12-story, and total is 460 units. And we also have a basement car park below, one level of basement car park. And by putting the basement car park at the basement itself, we were able to optimize the space on the ground level, putting in over 60% of the space for greenery as well as for the amenities, yeah, for the residents to enjoy. So it's really designed in that sense. Of course, it's also not, what do you call that? It's also cost a little bit more to build basement car parks, yeah, than having car parks on the ground level. So this is the lifestyle we are talking about. And with that, we're able to create 31 different amenities, over 6 zones, 6 zoning. Yeah. And you have a nice jogging track around it, 1.4 kilometers. If you just simply just take a walk within the development. So this is the resort that we are sharing. I'm here together with some of my colleagues. This is our sales gallery, and just give you a perspective of from the artist's impression to what we have taken to. And some interesting features about the Coral Bay. There's a very unique grand entrance statement here. What you see here is actually a very huge 68 meter in length and 8 meter high cascading water feature here. So this is our arrival. And when you arrive, either you go down to the basement for your cup parking, or you can come up to the drop-off arrival hall. Yeah. So it's also surrounded and yeah, this is another angle from our scale model. So you come in here, you can drop off, and this is our gym. This gym is about 5,000 square feet. Yeah, it's one of the largest in any developments in KK. So you can see we have the tennis court and a lot of greens. So it's really a very resort setting, and it complements the overall Sutera. And there's another view of the drop-off area. And so on the ground level, you find, again, is the water team. And we have like a lagoon sort of water. You find there is the wading pool, the dipping pool, and there's also a 50-meter infinity pool. Yeah? And there's a jacuzzi, and then surrounded by some pavilions and outdoor deck, outdoor fitness deck, and also children's water play for the children. So whether for a soak in the jacuzzi, or just for a swim, or just for a simple walk, really a place away from the hustle and bustle of city life. Yeah? And this is our gourmet pavilion. where you can, have a place of gathering with friends and family, overlooking the ocean as well as sunset. So our barbecue pots and our sunset pavilion. These are all for residents. Pay the maintenance. This is the facilities that you get with only 35 cents per square foot. This is another view of the lap pool overlooking the islands and sunset in the evening. Yeah. This is a real photo of sunset at Coral Bay. We are now we have started construction. It's in progress and completion is scheduled for Q4 2020. We're up to level 4, level 3, level 4 at the moment. Yeah. And you can see this is actually our show unit. We have 2 of the show units, a sample house to show. So do contact PropNex or us to come by and visit us at the gallery and to have a look at the property. So inside is some pictures of the show unit. This is the balcony that we're talking about in terms of our design. Not only the external having the 360-degree, but one of these important or interesting design is to have this seamless balcony where from room to room, it's basically open up and you can just come out and capitalize on the view. Yeah, so you have a wider view of KK, of the ocean. That's the living room with the dining, dry kitchen. That is the wet kitchen. So most of the units have both the wet and dry kitchen, except for the 2-bedroom. It's just one kitchen. Yeah. The bedrooms. This is a 3-bed. So imagine you have a property like that with the ocean beside you, or the golf course beside you, or the mountain view beside you. This is the resort about. Here's an artist's impression of the penthouse. The penthouse is also very special. We have 2 types of penthouse. We have the single-story penthouse, which is located at level 11. We also have the 12-story at level 12 duplex penthouse. And this penthouse is special. A higher level, it takes you, like this is the staircase, it takes you up to the roof terrace. So you will have your roof terrace, just like those parts that I've shown you at the pool level. This is something that you will enjoy at your own private space. Yeah, another angle of. So we would like to say that Coral Bay is really a jewel in the crown. It's unique and it stands out among many projects in luxury property in KK. Here we want to say what are the top 6 reasons to invest in Coral Bay. Number 1 is the location. Yeah, it's so strategic between KK International Airport and we are one of the nearest development, nearest to the airport, the hospital, the shopping center. Yeah. So it's only within a 7-kilometer drive from end to end from the airport. Yeah. And of course, within the most prestigious address in KK. So, we are also the nearest neighbor to Tanjung Aru Public Beach. Therefore, we enjoy the signature sunset view in our the first and only integrated development resort in Sabah. With this, we are able to provide value-added 3-tier security and additional hotel and concierge services. Yeah. Seafront living is really a desired lifestyle, yeah? And it's complemented with the sunset view, which we have it here, and also, of course, the beautiful islands across Tunku Abdul Rahman Marine Park. Yeah? And lastly, the quality of the building that is in harmony with the nature. We try to blend in with the nature, taking advantage of the beautiful design of the corals, yeah, with this unique architecture, put in the seismic design, yeah, and then the feng shui element, blending again with the nature, the mountain water, and also quite intelligent space planning in terms of planning, for example, the car park on the basement, and then you have more space, yeah, to enjoy the greenery. And of course, the interior, luxury interiors, the balconies to capitalize on the views, yeah, and the resort style amenities for all generations. Yeah. So that basically sums up what we think would be the 6 good reasons to invest in Coral Bay. Earlier, the reasons to invest in. So my last slide here to tell you, just to share a summary, that there are 384 acres, yes, Harbour Resort. We are the first integrated resort. 12 acres of prime residential land. The resort consists of 8 blocks, yeah, of a 12-story building only, and 460 units. Because of the height restrictions, it's only 12 stories, so therefore it's actually low density. So 460 units is actually spread over the 8 blocks, and each block is only about 40 to about 60 units per block. And every block is very private and individual. It does not link to each other. Yeah, it shares some walls, and that's about it. So it's really a private residence. And the sizes are from 1,500 square feet up to 9,200 square feet. Yeah. Rooms up to the dual key units. And maintenance fee is low, very attractive, is only 30 square feet. Going to complete Q4 2. Of course, we have special packages for owner-occupiers, and our price tag starts from 2.9 million. Now for 1,300 ringgit versus other luxury property around the area, maybe about 1,002, 1,200. For the extra 100 ringgit per square foot, you are getting a lot more and a different kind of lifestyle in Sutera Harbour. And I believe that's it. That ends my presentation. And hand over back to Philo.
Thank you very much, Jennifer, for your insight sharing about Coral Bay. Yeah? Any questions so far from the audience, please, you can actually put in the Q&A box or maybe in the chat box, okay? I think I have few questions which is from the chat box. I think this one will be addressed to Alex. Alex, okay. This is from one of the guests, and then said, do you think the Sabah economy is sustainable given the new normal now? For tourism sector, for example, will tourists still come?
Well, that's the million-dollar question. I think I have earlier discussed about these pillars, and I have backed it up by the fact that oil palm and oil and gas are basic industries, and people need it. And we are within Asia Pacific. Asia Pacific will be the main area for growth in the next century, I would think. And then number 2, in respect, say, for tourism, of course, tourism, that new normal is very questionable. We have to wait for the vaccine to be found. We're worried about consumer behaviors on their travel patterns after it's been after the normal comes back. But I think it will, and again, it's backed by the excitement of the attractions of Sabah, which is going to be here. Like I said, actually the corals are even more beautiful now in respect of having not had many visitors. You know, the rainforests are also not disturbed for a few months now, and it's going to be very exciting. And then we here are very excited about the new segments that are coming through from MICE. And you know, MICE, they spend typically more than 3 nights, and they spend a lot more than the average traveler. So we're not only thinking that it's sustainable, we're thinking that it will grow. The issue is when the growth will start. We are confident of the growth, you know. And I actually personally own a small homestay, and as of yesterday and today, I've started getting bookings, and I'm also surprised, but the bookings came from local travelers. So I think if the Chinese had their way, their speed of coming back is still there. But more importantly, I feel it's sustainable and will be on a growth trajectory on those grounds that I've discussed earlier, because the pillars are very robust. You know, so it's going to be a solid economy, and barring any major obstacles, it should just keep growing.
Thank you, Alex, for your answer. Yeah, I agree to Alex also. So this Chinese, when they can go out that time, they will actually travel around the world already start. So okay, I got one question from the attendees. Maybe this one I'll address to Jennifer. Question is, how many car parks are there in the basement car park? Jennifer?
Hi, Philo. Yes, well, I think I just typed it down there too. We actually allocated 2 to 5 car parks, depending on the sizes, but minimum is 2 car parks. 2 to
Okay.
5 car parks.
So in total that we have in the basement car park, probably about, let's say about 1,000 plus. Okay, great. Okay, this question probably I'll address to probably Jennifer. There are some questions saying that how is Coral Bay different from other waterfront properties? Globally, prices are falling even for waterfront properties. Well, how is it different from others?
As I shared just now, some of our unique positioning. First of all, I think in terms of property in general, because of the current economic and economic situation, it's not just waterfront property. I mean, broadly, all properties prices have sort of affected. But again, these are probably a temporary measure due to the current situation. And so location and prime land, prices will always come back, it's just, we've got to be patient, for it to come back in time. Now, back to what is, how different are we? Number one, we're talking about location, right? Location in KK City, again, between the airport and the city center, we are very near. Second, we are within Sutera Harbour Resort, an integrated resort development. So this is very different from other waterfront. We have the hotel components, the marina, the golf courses, and of course, we are right in front of the Tunku Abdul Rahman Marine Park, the 5 beautiful islands. Yeah, and you have access also to the sunset cruises, or to watch the sunset. And again, we're just adjacent to the Tanjung Aru public beach. So therefore, we enjoy this. So the other waterfront projects, they are good. They also have seafront view, horizon view of the sea. So each development have their own unique features. I guess we stand out a little bit in terms of our hotel components and the fact our location, and also how close we are to KK Sunset. I think that one makes us stand out. We're one of the nearest here. So I guess these are some of the key points that we're different from the others. Well, we're residential, of course. We're residential and hotel, yeah. And the commercial is just 5 minutes away. So.
Thank you. Anything you want to add on, Alex? Is that?
Yes, if I can add on, I think I go to Sutera Harbour to meet people and just enjoy the place for drinks. I think what makes it different, and I've been to quite a lot of waterfront properties globally, is that it offers a dream lifestyle. And if you're into golfing, the golf is just 10 minutes walk away, 5 minutes walk away, and very few properties have also an option for marina. There's a 102 berth marina already ready. So I think the most convincing argument about why is it different is because it offers a lifestyle that is not just in the air. All those amenities are already in place. And I just find that phenomenally attractive because it, and I like the security there. Sutera Harbour has been traditionally the place where most of the heads of state or presidents and CEOs of corporations get to stay because, it was one of the best and earliest resort. And so, it's a multi-tier security when you come into that 380 acre development. And then beyond that, you get all the security in place. And I think that's very different. And then something that's almost priceless, apart from the awesome sea view, is the matured greenery. They have done a great job with the trees there, and it's all been baked now in the golf courses. So I think that's creme de la creme, honestly. I wish I was rich.
Okay. So there's few more questions in the Q&A box. It says how many 18 holes golf course are there within 30 minutes radius from, I think from Coral Bay? I think, Alex, maybe you can answer this.
I am not particularly sure. We have Sabah Golf and Country Club up in Penampang. That's one. Going down south, we have one that the Koreans are involved with. Two. 30 minutes, is that what they say? Is the
Within
question?
30, within 30 minutes.
I would say at best 3 to 4. So we don't have that many. So that gives the scarcity value of the 27-hole golf course in Sutera Harbour.
Okay. All right. There is another question. It says that maybe this one I addressed to Jennifer. It says that what is the expected monthly rental for probably example a type B like that?
Well, we have quite a number of types, ranging from the 2-bedroom right up to the 10 houses. And our sizes ranges from 1,500 to 9,000 square feet. Today, if you look at a size about 900 or 1,000 square feet, it's,
Jennifer, your mic, probably you need to put up a little bit. Can't really hear you. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Clearer.
Okay, fine. So I was, hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I was saying that we have a number of products. We have, a variety from 2-bedroom right up to the penthouses, different sizes, yeah. And if you look at the high-end properties today in KK itself, just an example, current prices is, for about a 900 over 1,000 square feet is getting a rental of about 3,500 a month. That's equivalent to about 2 ringgit to 250 ringgit per square foot. That is in this current situation, right? So if you think about a property will be completed in 2 years to come, and with the turnaround of the economy, I think we would expect a lot more, especially high properties, premium properties, whether it's in KLCC or in KK, actually premium properties will command much higher rental. Of course, the luxury of it and the facilities and the amenities. So we are quite confident that the rental will be, pretty attractive. Because in today's market, generally in the country, if you talk about a 4% rental yield, everyone will be happy, 4 to 5%, yeah. But 5%, we are pretty confident with that. Yeah. So with the better times, we hope to be able to up the rental later on. Yeah.
Thank you.
Perhaps I can quickly add. That's the excitement about KK. I shared with you about SICC, 5,000 seating capacity, 3,000. Assuming at 3,000 delegates coming in, you all know there's not enough 5-star hotels, and these delegates do demand 4 to 5-star properties. So there is always the potential of yields shooting up, and that I understand that there are specially fully furnished packages in Coral Bay, and the reason why that was also born was because they tell me that when they were running the 1,000-room hotel, 500 one, there was not enough penthouses for many occasions. So much like in Singapore or Hong Kong, where you have a top name development, whether it's St. Regis Suites, St. Regis Hotel, it's a St. Regis residence on the side. I think this is similar practices and similar potential. Now, if that becomes a reality, and if the MICE market grows, I see quite exciting yield numbers.
Yeah, all of us are actually very excited to see the turnout of the SICC, but unfortunately, when they open on January the time, and then after that, this pandemic happened. But nevertheless, okay, we'll look forward next year, or we'll probably end of this year. Okay, there's 2 more questions in the Q&A box. Maybe this one I addressed to maybe Jennifer. They said that what is the walking time to the golf course and also marina? from Coral Bay?
Oh, what is the walking time? It's actually very near. The marina and the golf club is just across, you know, and it's actually very near. I've done a walk from Coral Bay to the marina. It takes only about 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. If I walk slow, you know, because I walk through the marina, the berth, I want to see it, and I walk bypass the Pacific Hotel all the way to the Pacific Hotel. It's only about 10 minutes, you know. So if you walk, yeah, and of course the golf course is opposite. Yes, it's across the marina, and that is 27 hole. It's very wide. It's one of the largest here. Yeah. Very good exercise place here, and also about that, you can also cycle from Sutera Harbour or even from Tanjung Aru all the way to Lika Square. You know, there is a bicycle track. You see, so it's also a place for cyclists, not just for the walkers. Yeah.
So I do marathon. So when we do, you know, the route on the other side, Sutera Harbour and also the Tanjung Lipat, I really enjoy that. So you can very good breeze. Okay, I think we start from 8 o'clock. Now it's already 9:20. Wow, we have about 1 hour and 20 minutes we spent together with Alex and Jennifer. I think without further ado, any more question from the floor? One more. Okay, there is one more question. Okay, I think this one will address to Jennifer. Last question now. Will you do a sell and lease back, as many of us will not be staying there?
All right. Okay. Actually, contrary to that, many of our customers actually are planning to stay there. We attract a lot of owner occupiers wanting to stay in Coral Bay for retirement as their second home, the second holiday home, even for locals. We have locals coming from other parts of KK, and they are buying this resort holiday for themselves, for the family. Some of them even have such a similar vacation property overseas, and now they have something right near their home. You know, they bought it for their family. So so I would say that it's not just investor buying and, you know, just for the rental. Yeah. Talking about the lease back, something that we can explore. We don't, you know, sell it in that manner, but something that can be explored. Yes, we do have an investment package for some investors. Yeah, so perhaps Samuel, is it? You can talk to Philo later on. After this chat.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Jennifer and also Alex, for a very good sharing. Okay, I hope that the audience, the attendees, will able to feed you all this information. And then, without further ado, let us say thank you to Jennifer again and Alex, and then good night to everyone. Thank you very much. Do contact our PropNex agent. Okay, they will actually assist you anytime. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye-bye.